What is good, family? Welcome back to Peapod Cove Reaction, your favorite spot for breaking down not just music, but the real stories behind the culture. Today, we got to talk about something that's not just shocking, but it's frustrating. Let me paint a picture. Kendrick Lamar dropped a fire GNX album a few months ago. The whole project was tough. And then we had this one song called Hey Now from an artist we never heard of called Dodie 6. And there's been a lot of reports out there that Dodie 6 is going broke, that he's moving out of his place because he doesn't have anywhere to live. You know, there's a lot of things out there going on. I saw this appeared across my timeline a couple of days ago, but I've been a little busy. I'm right now in the process of building my studio. So pretty soon I'm going to get a permanent studio and this is all going to change. So that means we're building, we're heading in the right direction. I appreciate all y'all coming through, liking the videos, comment on the videos. And I just want to say thanks. So I got a video here today from The Ville, and The Ville breaks down a couple of reasons why he might not be getting his money or whatever the deal is. So let's get to it. This is the we do The Ville on here a lot, so everybody that hang out with me know The Ville make good content. If you're new to the channel, go over there, like and subscribe to The Ville. You know, he put in the work for people like me to create content out of things like this. So let's.
I wanted to talk about this Dodie 6 situation. I know a lot of people this happening with Dodie 6 and Kendrick Lamar, talking about how Kendrick Lamar's feature didn't really help him, how it didn't do anything for him. And I wanted to add some context that I had noticed online that could maybe explain why exactly Dodie 6 isn't getting paid properly after doing a feature for the GNX album.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw some of these messages that came out Dodie 6, I thought it was literally just OVO's trolling, because there's been a lot of that going on, a lot of that. But once you start seeing the information from specific content creators on this platform, you tend to look at it a little differently. You know, The Ville, Jalopy, Bungus, when these guys start reporting it, you know there's some validity in there. So,
and featuring on the song Hey Now. Now, obviously, Dodie 6 has been reported to be kind of unhinged at this moment.
It's I'm busy whole day, booked up. Link what you're gonna say. Let me know what you're gonna say. Say it on the news at 12. Real post. Whoa, I ain't gonna say that word on here, but paraphernalia. I'm pretty sure y'all can read it right there. All right, let's get back to it.
He's been messaging.
I'm also leave a link down in the description for this so y'all can watch it without me yapping on it.
People like Adam 22 and saying things like this, reporting it to No Jumper, saying, I'm busy, whole day booked up. Let me know what you got to say. I'm going to say it on the news at 12. This is Adam 22. And then Dodie responds, bro, post it. I'm on math. Replace the A for an E. I don't give a F. Post Dodie is on math and say K Dot is a B. Ain't tapping in with me. So he's saying that Kendrick isn't tapping in. And eventually later on, he does a video explaining how the feature didn't help him out. And he says that while he's driving in a.
It's crazy that he'll say that, but because once they make the song and the everything goes out, it has nothing to do with Kendrick. You're on the song, we're all here getting played. It's all about who your management team is, who's controlling your arm pockets. That's how you need to figure out how you get paid. Once the song is made, Kendrick ain't got to hold his hand. Like, what are we talking about? Isn't this the same song where Kendrick says there's 24 hours in a day? Why you mad for? Or something like that. I'm pretty sure this was the same goddamn song that Kendrick says that in there. Bruh, there's 24 hours in a day. You know, why am I getting more done than you are?
The car.
Back up, because I ain't got no destination, bro. On SC. I lost my house. I'm homeless, nigga. I don't care about admit that shit, nigga. Hell down. I'm bounce back up, though. Watch this. It's all good, cuz. Song with Kendrick ain't changed shit, nigga. The fuck that changed, nigga? I'm still from 40s, nigga. Still over here, nigga. You act like a nigga got $1 million for that shit, nigga. The fuck all that nigga got some clout, nigga. And fuck, nigga. On the day homies, nigga.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of things. I've been hearing a lot of things about Dodie 6. You know, obviously he's frustrated. He's upset. He just said that he became homeless. and he was saying how the feature didn't help him out. Now, I also heard that he's dealing with the loss of a loved one or a family.
I mean, even if the feature didn't help him out then, when those royalties come in, because he is credited on the song, I'm think for writing credits, which is good. That's the money is, it's once after you go after writer, it's cut up in so many little percentages that you ain't gonna see that. But as long as he's the writer on there, he's gonna get a bigger royalty. So even though he didn't get nothing up front, he should be able to get something on the back end. Definitely, because this song has what, almost 400 million streams or something like that. That's some paper.
Family member. So my condolences, but none of that frustration or anger should be pointed at Kendrick Lamar. I don't think you should take out your frustrations on somebody who tried to help you. I could understand if you're going through a hard time, if you're thinking about a lot of things, but you shouldn't be taking it out on somebody who gave you the biggest assist of your life, of your music career. Let me remind you that Hey Now was a song that he was featured on, and it has garnered over 139 million plays on Spotify alone, just Spotify alone, since its release. And it had been reported earlier today that that's the current number. If you're not making money from the song, the least that you could.
And that's just Spotify. That's not talking about Apple Music. That's not like it. Like I said, the song has been everywhere. It's the whole album, actually. The whole album has been everywhere. And after the Super Bowl, it got massive plays. Look, this is just 140 mil on Spotify. And we're not talking about the radio plays. We're not talking about Apple. We're not talking about YouTube Music. There's so many other platforms. But yeah, it's somewhere around 400 mil, 350 somewhere to 400 mil streams. It's going to pay out big.
Do after gaining popularity from being a feature on the track is use that momentum, use that lob that Kendrick had gave you, and use it to push your career. Instead, you do the complete opposite and crash out on the only person that could have probably helped you in a situation like this. But the feature could only help you at this point if you help yourself, not if you self-destruct by crashing out online, saying all these things, especially about the person who was there and tried to help you. Not only that, but let me remind you with this interview that since 2020, Dodie has heard about Kendrick Lamar asking about him and wanting to work with him.
When I was in jail the whole time, like literally since 2020, I've been hearing Kendrick Lamar asked about you. Like certain homies, the homie Doughburger, rest in peace. He hit me like, "Hey, I was seeing Kendrick asked about you." Like, whoa. I'm like, all right, but I heard a couple times. I never really like, is it real or not? I don't know.
All this guy had to do was just wait for his opportunity to come, and he did. And when it happened, and he finally got the feature from Kendrick, what does he do? He goes and he blows it up. He goes and he messes it up. Now, for whatever reason, if it's because he's going through hard times or if it's because he's dealing with something personally, my condolences for all that. But you not getting paid isn't Kendrick Lamar's fault. It turns out people were able to kind of figure out why exactly he wasn't getting paid at all. And it seems to be more.
And this is what I love about this platform we call YouTube. The internet will always find receipts. And that's what I love about this whole regime of creators. The minute you come out and say something out your mouth that doesn't sound right, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up, we will go find the receipts. And the receipts have come in, bro. They have come in. And just like he said, you got the alley hoop, you got the feature. What are you doing with it? You look at artists like Trike, what was his name? I don't want to mess up his AZ Trike, Lefty Gunplay, J Hitter J3, all these artists appeared as features on K Dot's album, and what did they do? They used it as an alley hoop and ran with it to get something. Like, yo, a light is shining on you and you tweaking over here, crashing out. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's almost like the spotlight was a little too much for Dodie 6. Like, not everybody is meant to be in the spotlight. There's people that can't lead. No matter how far you push them to lead, they're a follower. They're not meant to lead. That spotlight ain't big enough for everybody. It's big, but once you get there and realize how big it is and how hot that sun is, a lot of people fall down and back away. And I think it seemed like this is what we've seen from Dodie 6 here. He's crashing out. He can't handle the fame. You know, where is his album? Is he talking about putting out a project? You know, is he, you know, what is he doing? Like, does he expect K-Dot to hold his hand and says, hey, this song is, and here's the money. Here's, no, bro, you got to go put in work. We all hear about you, but I don't even, I'm from the East Coast. I live on the East Coast. So I don't know a lot of these artists until they appeared on Kendrick's GNX album. So I can't tell you and sit here and say, oh, I heard of some of these people. So the fact that we're now hearing about you, you're supposed to give us things to make us say, oh, yeah, now I see why Kendrick picked him. But for you to jump on there and start going all crazy, like, oh, he ain't do this, it definitely sounds like you're crashing out. Definitely. And like DeVille said, you know, Kendrick can't help you with that. That's you and your paper. You get in, you do the work in the studio. And then once you leave the studio, it's up for your management team and your people to make sure the proper paperwork is signed and ready to go. If that didn't happen, you can't blame the head person in charge just because your situation got messed up because you didn't fill out the right paperwork. Reading is fundamental, my boy.
More of an error on the business side of things when it comes to Dodie 6 and his feature with Hey Now. There's this account online by the name of Brian Zizek, and he broke down the potential reason why Dodie isn't receiving any funds for this feature. He says rapper Dodie is featured on Kendrick's Hey Now on GNX to date. The song has garnered 139 million plays on Spotify alone. Dodie took to social media claiming that the guest feature hasn't helped him. And this thread is explaining why due to his publishing. It says here that Dodie 6 is officially credited as a writer on the song twice.
Yep.
So he was credited correctly and properly. Once under his legal name, which is Zarius Joel Cunningham via BMI, and again as Dodie 6, listed as NS, non-society, with no IPI number. Now, for those of you who don't know, an IPI is an interested party information. An IPI is a number that is unique, international identification number assigned to songwriters, composers, lyricists, and music publishers. It is used as a way to uniquely identify them as international rights holders. The number is usually 911 digits long. IPIs are assigned by the Performing Rights Organization, also known as PRO. The number is also referred to as a CAE number. This number is a number that you're supposed to use as a composer, songwriter, music publisher, whatever the case may be. You're supposed to use this IPI number as a way of getting paid. Dodie is listed as not having one. It's, as you can see.
See, listen, the internet's, man. And that's what I love about this YouTube content creators. You just sit back and wait a little bit and the truth will come out. The information will come out. I'm not saying it's truth. This is all alleged. But these content creators go and do their homework. They go dig for things and they don't just bring it to you because they found something. This is basically information that's out there. And I appreciate DeVille going out and find it for us. But, you know, a lot of times when you hear these people talk, and here's what happens a lot too. When you see a story like this breaks, the Hovey Hoers, you know, they go in and they literally hype the situation. They put more eyes on it, like that it really needs to have, and they make it a bigger story than it is. But usually what was it, like
a few moments later,
we find out that is not true. It is not true at all, right? We find that out. Like, Kendrick didn't stand him up or anything. My man didn't file the proper paperwork. So my thing is this something new for him? Because obviously he has other music out. Is he like not getting paid for nothing, or was this just a error on this particular song?
Here, by the example written, it doesn't show that he has an IPI number right here in the middle. He's the only one missing one. Everybody else has an IPI instead of him. It says here, if a writer is marked as NS.
I guarantee that's the kid right there who was supposed to do his book report on the weekend, comes in on Monday, and then just copies off the back of a book, the summary off the back, and just turns it in. Like, it's bro, you're the one that didn't fill out the proper paperwork. Now, I don't know if he has a management team that takes care of that or how it works. But so far right now, from what I see, you can't be blaming K-Dot for your mess up.
Everybody else has an IPI instead of him. It says here, if a writer is marked as NS, they likely won't receive performance royalties, aren't being tracked or paid properly unless they affiliate with a pro or provide an IPI number. Risk having others collect on their behalf intentionally or accidentally, meaning that if he doesn't claim it, somebody else or some other publisher would. On the
Wow.
MLC site, which tracks the mechanical royalties in the US, Dodie 6 is listed without an IPI. A publisher named 10 Year Music is claiming 18% in his name, which is a publishing company, if I'm not mistaken. They publicly promoted him as a client, so it's safe to assume the claim isn't fraudulent. So this could be somebody claiming it that's promoted him in the past. And as you can see here, Dodie's missing the IPI, and 10 Year Music is claiming it through this IPI right here, the publisher that promotes Dodie 6. Brian says, even if you're credited properly, minor publishing mistakes or missing or incomplete registrations will block your royalties or route your money to someone else entirely. Registrations must be accurate and clean across your pro, the MLC, and your publishers. It says, sadly, this happens all the time. A writer uses a stage name on one registration and their legal name on another. Their IPI isn't listed. A publisher files a claim for the wrong split percentage. The result, the artist is left wondering why they haven't seen a dime. To avoid ending up in positions, here's a quick checklist. Join a pro, which is also known as an ASCAP. Get your IPI number, register every song correctly, use the same name plus info everywhere, review who's listed as your publisher, monitor your MLC registration, and ask questions. I think this is a lesson that Dodie 6 needs to follow. This individual, and shout out this account, Brian Zias, for breaking this down. He was able to break down why exactly he hasn't gotten paid. He could see clear as day that the business side of Dodie 6 situation isn't straightened out all the way correct.
Well, if you kind of ask me, he is getting paid. Somebody else is claiming his publishing. So we need to figure out who that is. It's got to be part of his management team. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's claiming it. So who is it? We need to find that out. I'll work on that for the next video after this. But make sure y'all like the Ville video, man. The Ville brings the content to us to review it, put it together. And you know what? We add a little more context to this.
The money for 16 or 18% of the song is going to somebody else. And this is leaving him concerned and questioning how come he hasn't received a dime from doing this feature. From what it looks like right here, it doesn't look like it's Kendrick's fault. It looks like it's a business issue going on with your publishing and your IPI. That's something that you would.
And the other crazy thing is you don't know what type of deal he signed. You know, some of these people sign their life away, sign their life to the devil. And when you eventually get a feature, you come on or you get on, you realize that you still aren't making money because the deal you originally signed or however you messed up, they're the ones getting royalty. They're the ones getting paid. And it's definitely a lesson. You know, like I said, I'm gonna have another video coming because I've been researching things about that as well as far as what's going on. And that may even shock you, the things I've been able to find out so far.
Would have to fix on your own. Kendrick could give you the feature, but he cannot hold your hand and make sure that you do everything correctly. You're entitled as an artist and as an adult to have some type of responsibility in regards to the way that you receive payment. I understand if Dodie 6 is going through a lot of emotional distress, if he lost somebody that he's loved or he lost a family member, my condolences. But at some point, you have to take some accountability and understand that if you made a mistake, you have to check your paperwork because the entertainment business is also entertainment, but it's also a business. And you have to make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's so you know that everything is being accounted for. If you're not getting paid or if you're not seeing a dime, it's probably because it's something that's going on your end on the business aspect of things. If he's having a situation with his home and if he's having situations with a loved one, my condolences, like I said. But this is something that you have to take accountability for. Imagine how much money Dodie 6 could actually make from this song if he took care of the business aspect of things on his own. I'm not sure if the frustration is coming from not getting paid or if it's coming from the stuff that he's dealing with personally. I don't think that going at Kendrick Lamar publicly is a good idea. I don't think that going at the person that decided to help you is going to benefit you at all. I think it just makes your situation worse. If anything, I think you should have asked questions instead of trying to crash out. Because now you got people like Hitter J3 talking about the situation. And Hitter J3 is being open about it. He's saying, but since the net talking, tell Blood to tell y'all how Dot gave him access to the studio anytime that he wanted and got him a spot, etc., to chill. He says some shit be a test, but guys rather be in the streets and ain't got no patience. It looks like
See, I was just talking about that, man. And like I said, when you think about K Dot and what he's doing now, he's the type of person that this what Hitter J3 just said. This is the type of person we expect Kendrick Lamar to be. Yo, you good? I got a spot for you. Because, you know, when you listen to Kendrick Lamar's GNX album and he talked about borrowing clothes, I think it was the real heart, the heart part 6. And he talked about borrowing clothes when he was a hype man to perform. And, you know, how when J-Rock was in the come up, everything they did to help him out. So why would he not do the same for other artists that he feels just need a little helping hand, just need a little nudge, you know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. But sometimes things get in these people's heads, man, where they feel like they're too good for help. And that's, I'm just being real. Sometimes they feel they're too good for help, or they got it. Now I got it. But big up to Hitter J3, man, keeping that shit real. Now, we don't know exactly what happened with Dodie 6 and Dot, you know, or why does he feel entitled like Dot needs to put him up or take care of him. I mean, that's not his responsibility. All he needs to do is put you on a feature. He put you on a feature, and you still fumble the bag. You know, everybody else is running with the opportunities. You know, you should be in the studio like Hitter J3. He in the studio trying to work on his project. Make sure he gets stuff out. Like, yo, now people want to hear you. I want to hear a Dodie 6 album. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that. I want to hear a Hitter J3 album after they get the feature to see how are they making it work for them, right?
like Kendrick Lamar did try to assist him in some type of way, whether it was giving him some type of studio time or if it was giving him a spot to chill at. But from what Hitter J3 is saying, Dodie rather be in the streets than to be patient. And I think that's the same thing that I'm trying to say. If he just took a step back and asked questions instead of being frustrated and upset, there probably would have been some type of resolve.
And here's the thing: a lot of these artists they all know each other. So when you hear them speak, they're not just speaking on saying, "Oh, this is all alleged." No, they're speaking with confidence. They're speaking with confidence, and if they claim that he's on all these things they said he's on, yeah, he's in the streets doing his thing for sure. That's definitely street talk. Let's finish this video up.
Before lashing out online. Hopefully everything personal in Dodie 6's life gets straightened out. And hopefully everything on his business side of things and his career gets straightened out. I feel like that's the only reason why he didn't get paid properly, in my opinion.
Listen, this was a longer video than I expected, you know. Wow. That was a lot. Shout out to the Ville for putting this spotlight together, because honestly, it's a real eye-opener. You know, what happened to Dodie 6 with Hey Now is more than just an artist losing his way. I could say he's lost his way, and hopefully he could find his way back. You know, I don't blame Kendrick on this. Kendrick did what he was supposed to do. He looked at a young artist coming up that needed a little nudge. He gave him the nudge, and it seemed like dude fell off the bridge. He didn't hold on. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about this Dodie 6 situation with Kendrick Lamar. Do you think that Kendrick should have done more to help him out, or do you think that he gave him enough that he should have took the alley hoop? It was like Shaq and Kobe, you know, alley hoop. He missed it. Like the ball just literally bounced off the rim and into the crowd or into the stands. Let me know down in the comments. This is Peapod Cove. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace out, y'all.